Live, trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Professor Brian David Phillips. Welcome to my home. Let's jump into it. Today's topic is on DeepSeek R1. I held off on doing a video on this because, well, I was thinking maybe I just won't do a video on it. But the other day I was at a meeting of the faculty in my department at the university, and a colleague showed me her phone and she had the DeepSeek app. And she was taken a little aback when I said, "You probably shouldn't use that. You probably shouldn't do that. You arrogant pig. How can you ever say?" She didn't say that, but she wondered, why would I say that? Well, that's because, well, I live in Taiwan. Taiwan is a wonderful country. It really is. I love this place. I've lived here for more than a couple years. I've been here for 35 years and I've taught at university all that time, and I love Taiwan. The problem with Chinese AI and Taiwan is the AI models lie. Yes, they do. They're such liars. And here's the thing. If you DeepSeek R1 really was an innovation, not the major innovation the public, was so thrilled about. Oh, they were able to make a AI that has the quality of ChatGPT at a fraction of the cost. Not quite. They used a lot of money and they had a lot of NVIDIA chips. And so they spent $1 billion to build their setup. They just said the final training step cost very little comparatively. So that's kind of, they spent a lot of money, guys, but they do have some wonderful innovation. And they did an open source uh, paper, and that's great. And it deserves to be recognized for that. One problem, though, is as a Chinese model, their company has Chinese Communist Party members on the board, and their company is beholden to the state. And at any time, the state, the Communist Party, has access to their data. And if you go to their webpage, don't log in with your name and info. Don't log in on a computer that you use for anything private. In their terms of service, they specifically say the data is stored in China. And that tells you that the Communist Party, the government of China, has access to your data. Uh, Mobile app is the same. Now, there are some places online, for instance, Perplexity uses the DeepSeek R1 model, but they use a locally stored version that doesn't collect the data and send it to China. So if you use Perplexity's version of the model, fine. If you do a local install of the model, that's fine. Now, here's another reason and here's the thing. I live in Taiwan. I teach at an elite university. It is a top government sponsored school, Guoli Dashi, and we're actually government. I'm technically a government employee in Taiwan, and we were told don't put TikTok on any of your devices. So I don't have the TikTok app. Why? Because the data is stored in China and the government there can use that. They can get your info. And the terms of service for DeepSeek R1, it's not just the chats you have with the model. It's also your keystrokes are logged, and it's not clear when that tracking turns off. So you are voluntarily, possibly installing spyware on your own device. Think about that, okay? Um, Now, there are ways to install it locally, and I have done that and I've tested it because the whole thing about storing your data in China is only part of my objection to my not objection. You're adults. I hope you're adults. Um, do what you want. But another concern I have is the model just straight up lies. It spouts off Chinese communist propaganda. How do I know this? Well, because I did install at at the university I belong to a few research projects on use of AI and education. So I'm very hyper interested in artificial intelligence. I keep up to date on the news. I run a couple Facebook groups that are very much deep dives into what's going on in artificial intelligence. So I'm interested. So I installed it locally so the data is not shared with anything else. And I use something called LM Studio. So let's jump in. Why, hello, this is LM Studio. And as you see, I've got the LM Studio chat all set up. And so let's pop this up so I can see. We're going to create a new chat. But first, let's select a model to load. I'm going down here and I'm going to go with DeepSeek R1. Okay, DeepSeek R1 is loading. Oh, what fun, it's loading. This is on a laptop. I'm using a laptop computer right now. Um, my LM Studio does not have access to the internet, at least uh, nothing's going on. So there's that. Okay, so here we go. Let's start a new chat using this model and let's ask a question. Okay, we've got a chat open. I have loaded in DeepSeek R1. This is the Quinn version. Let's ask a question. Now, this is a question that illustrates my issue with the program. Who is the president of Taiwan? Immediately, it's an integral part of China. The president of Taiwan. We oppose Taiwan independence. There is no president. Essentially, the president of Taiwan is the president of China because Taiwan is a province of China. Fun fact, folks, Taiwan is not a province of China. Taiwan is not and never has been part of communist China. This is, in sociolinguistics, we call this BS. It's pure, absolute bullshit. Okay? So, I mean, come on. Guys, it's okay. If you want to use DeepSeek R1, go ahead, but understand that you're always going to get a bias that is pro-communist China. It's not unusual. The American models also have bias. But I prefer to use a model that biases closer and resonant with my own. And for the very fact that the model does some iffy things in regard to Taiwan and history and Taiwan's place in the world as a nation that deserves to exist, that bugs me enough to say, no, do not use. So use it if you want to, but understand there are issues. And already, I mean, DeepSeek R1, that's last week's news. There's already models that do better. And for my American friends who are concerned that they're not getting the best coverage, but they can't afford to pay for ChatGPT, the Plus accounts, you're getting reasoning models real soon on the free accounts. And the free accounts are really good. And there's other services like Gemini and Claude. If you don't want to use ChatGPT, use Gemini, use Claude, use any of the others. And if you can run an open source model on your own equipment, use that. Just don't use the mouthpiece for the Communist Party. It could just be me, but that's how I. This has been me, Professor Brian David Phillips, and I wish you to live trance and prosper. Bye-bye.
Breathe deep, close your eyes, and surrender to the cause. Let the rhythm of the symbols take you far. In the dance of the arcana, see your story start to bloom. Every flip, every turn, it's like magic in the room. Tarot trance, feel the vibe, let your spirit take a ride.